Hey everybody, so what you're looking at is a boat in an old brick factory, and unfortunately there's a fence here. I can't get in. As you see, it's private property, no trespassing. But what hopefully you can see from this video is the remnants of Brighton Mills, which was a textile factory here in the town of Shannon, Georgia. So this is close to the city of Rome and the town of Calhoun, and I was working out here, and what I found out is that this was an old factory town, like the ones that you hear about that just don't really exist anymore. And I thought maybe it was notable just for me to take some video of it and just look at it. As like, just standing here alone, from what I read was that there was the timber business out here, there was timber trade going on, and then there was this textile business going from like the early 1900s, and this mill was built around that time in like the 1920s. And it was one of these places where the village was built around it for the employees, and they did a lot of things here, a lot of different textile work. They made the fabric for Levi's jeans, I was told by somebody, and it's done now. This place has been closed since 2004, I read, but the community's still here. There's still a lot of people here, and just wanted to share that with you. And just some of America's industrial heritage right here. These are the things you hear about, and maybe I'll see if I can get another view of it. Here's, I guess, where once was the gatehouse, where if I don't know if trucks were coming into the factory or employees coming in, like, I'm guessing, there's where, it would open. And now just a shell of itself. Hard to believe it's, closed in 2004. Somebody was telling me that they've been using the bricks, repurposing them, using them for other purposes. But, you can see the smokestack. So just, fascinating, just standing out here alone. Like looks like the substation for the electric. There's where you could buzz in. So, yeah. So, I'm not going to go into this property. No trespassing, seems pretty obvious, but, try to get you some videos of what it looks like now through the barbed wire, through the fence, just these buildings, just the grass hasn't even been cut here, and, it's just all overgrown. There's a substation where I just was, but, yeah. Just a shell of itself. But, if this interests you, this is just, like I said, some of, America's heritage, these old towns. And I was reading, this town, Shannon, it had its own, like, baseball team. It was like its own community where just, like, the factory built the village for its employees. Just, I mean, I've never heard of that, like, in modern times anymore. And here you can even see the sign is still here, Gailey and Lord. It's not the original owners, but I read that they were here, bought it in the 90s for the last 10 years before it closed in 2004. So, yeah, Brighton Mills was its name originally, and it's called here still the Brighton plant. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really something for visiting because you can't go in, but just thought I'd share that with you. And it's, it's a nice, quiet community to walk around, take a bike or something. Shannon, near Rome, Georgia.